Good morning. Welcome to the forecast discussion for everyone for Friday, January 18th, 2019. Decided to combine all the videos into one, premium and also public, to just kind of go over exactly what to expect. As you can tell, I'm a bit concerned not about heavy snow for the I-95 corridor, but an icy mix that I think might be getting under forecasted here. A very, very fine line. So let me dive into the data here. Well, this morning we had a little bit colder solution than what was expected, at least for the coast, with a band of a low pressure system redeveloping off the coast. Another low pressure in the Great Lakes has produced scattered snow showers and a period of light snow, about a trace to an inch. A nice little snowfall here in central New Jersey, covering the region with a little bit of snow. The idea here earlier was for it to change over and mix over to rain, but that didn't happen as temperatures stayed a bit colder. Yeah, think about that for just a minute. But when you're forecasting, you never forecast based on old battles. You look at what is ahead of you. And what is ahead of us is a very complicated forecast. Now, on the infrared satellite picture for this morning, you can see scattered broken cloud cover. Here's our secondary cold front that is about to move through. On the surface map, you can see our other cold front and low pressure system on the way. Once this moves through, look for scattered cloud cover by this evening. Then here's our next storm that's starting to organize here. 3 low pressures becoming 1 over the upper Midwest for this afternoon evening, with periods of snow, about 4 to 8 inches or so around the upper Midwest, heading into the Ohio River Valley for tonight. And then we watch where that low pressure system tracks. Now, on the water vapor satellite picture, here is our subtropical shortwave, and here's our polar shortwave. Now understand this, I am not looking for a wholesale change in the forecast. I know that there's some models floating around, like the IBM model, for example, that is a lot colder with a lot more snow for locations like New York City and Boston. That solution would have to depend on this interaction being a great deal later and the low pressure track being much further east. Okay, so understand that. I don't really see much in the way of observational support for that solution. What I'm looking for is maybe a 5 to 10 mile deviation and what that can do to the forecast, not a 50-mile deviation. Of course, we'll keep an eye on that potential and see how that evolves, but understand I'm not looking for, to push the New York City forecast from where it's currently at to 12 inches of snow. I'm not looking for that solution. When I say I'm not looking for that, I'm not seeing any data to support that type of outcome. Of course, we'll keep an eye on it, but right now I don't see anything to support that. What I see here is the potential for a slight deviation, maybe instead of the low pressure system tracking over southern New Jersey, maybe eclipse Cape May and just heads right off the coast just a little bit. And let me show you the new NAM model guys that just came out. Now, this is coming out right as we speak. So here we are on Saturday afternoon, right? Now you see this signature here. This tells me there is what we call very strong isotropic lifting. We have very strong warm air transport, moisture driving in. You're seeing a very impressive gradient, so you're going to have pretty good frontogenesis here. So this tells me the initial shot of precipitation will be a heavy burst of snow. I think for the I-95 corridor, that's where you're going to see the bulk of your snow accumulation. Okay. Then as we move forward, that frontogenesis pushes northward, and then that's how you get a wintry mix up here. Meanwhile, you get very strong. You see how this is interesting. See how it gets very cold here and warm here, and then pockets of warm here and pockets of cold here. This tells me there's going to be pockets of mesoscale banding and dynamic lifting and sinking. You're going to see holes in the precipitation shield because of rapid rising and sinking, but it's going to lead to some very heavy snowfall up here. I'm looking at basically 12 to 18 inches of snow as a base, Don't be surprised if a mesoscale band or two really amplifies some of this snowfall and pushes you over 2 feet in a few isolated locations. I don't think that's going to be widespread at this time, but I think that you're going to have some of those spots, especially as you move towards central New York and the Green and White Mountains. Meanwhile, on early Sunday morning, you can see we're pretty warm here at 850 millibars, right? So this, if we were just doing a forecast based on 850 millibars, mid-levels of the atmosphere, this would be rain, right? Pretty clear. At 925 millibars, let's see, make sure we're at the same time period, 43 hours. So let's see. It's colder. This is a warning sign. This would tell me there's a better chance of seeing some sort of frozen mix, maybe a grapple, maybe sleet, maybe freezing rain. In other words, the mid-level boundary at 925 millibars is coming in colder. Those of you in southern New Jersey, this is rain. Down towards Washington, D.C. Metro, the Delmarva, this is rain. Okay? But my concern is right here. Right there. Right in this little sliver. Because there are signs here of cold pockets here. Now, let's go down to the surface. This is dew points. Ahead of this storm, on Saturday evening, you have a source region of very dry air being funneled into this storm. Again, warning sign. Model guidance doesn't always handle this type of Arctic cold air very well. And so the lowest levels of the atmosphere, and again, for freezing rain, you only need 10 meters. That, at times, is not handled very well. So you have to wonder, now notice this, look at this. Let's see how this tightens on Sunday morning. Look how tight this gradient is. This is 33 on southern Long Island. 1 degree. You drop this 2 degrees in error in the model guidance, and you're talking about a massive ice event here. Same thing around New York City Metro, down towards central New Jersey, Philadelphia Metro. And then note that that is as warm as it gets. And then here comes the Arctic air. So there is my concern. Step away from the flashy radar views or the QPF views or the snow maps and look at the actual data and concern here, in that when you look at this, and let's see, by the way, I'm using weathermodels.com, weather.us, excellent model data. We all know it's going to be cold up in New England, so we got that pre-handled. Let's zoom in. This is pretty cool. So let's see. I'm going to zoom into New Jersey here. I should get a little kickback, right, for showing all this data here. But basically, all this data is coming in. It's not in quite yet for New Jersey. I want to kind of zoom in and really show you what the potential here is. So maybe we'll do New England again. Or if I could do New York City. All right. Sorry about that. We'll go back to New England. But you get the point here. Okay, this at the surface, your freezing line, below freezing over down towards Connecticut, north side of Long Island, New York City Metro, very close to freezing. Okay, so the line between this being pure rain and ice is not 40 degrees. It's not like, well, New York City is going to push to 40. That's down the Jersey Shore. This right here is very, very tenuous. And the warmest we're seeing here is that it gets up to maybe 35, and then here comes the Arctic air. So again, this is why I have my concerns here with this storm. And this is the latest 12Z data. So again, for the coast here, pretty much rain. On the NYNJPA weather, you can check out the zoom map here. Again, you can zoom all the way down to your street if you want. Trace to an inch of rain. As you move a little bit further inland, the Philadelphia Metro. I did a little dip here in central New Jersey because there's a little bit of a dip in the topography in central New Jersey, especially around Monmouth County. where cold air can get trapped in. So again, an initial shot, 1 to 3 inches of snow, and then a tenth to a quarter of an inch of sleet and freezing rain. Then up towards the I-95 corridor in New York City to Philadelphia, 3 to 6 inches of snow. That initial shot, let's say around 4 inches of snow, boom, it hits. And then you're looking at a quarter to possibly a half an inch of ice. If your temperatures stay at 31 degrees with heavy precipitation, that half an inch of ice might be too low. Okay, that's how concerned I am here. No one else is really showing this, but I am telling you right now, just be prepared and hope for the best. Hope for that it gets up to 34 and it's just rain. And then as you move further north, again, about 6 to 12 inches of snow, a tenth to a quarter of an inch of ice, and well up north, 12 to 18 inches of snow. We talked about the mesoscale banding potential. And then back towards the west, 1 to 3 inches of snow over south central Pennsylvania and around back towards West Virginia. So again, the idea here is not to hype anything up or to more views or something ridiculous as that. If I wanted to do that, I would just start throwing out snow maps. Oh, I don't know, 5 days out, showing 20 inches of snow for New York City, right? No. What I'm concerned about here is an icy mix in the New York City and Philadelphia metros and central and northern New Jersey while people are out and about on Saturday night because they think it's going to change over to plain rain. Or just driving out there on Sunday morning because they think, oh, it just changed over to plain rain. Use caution, stay home. As the storm leaves on Sunday morning, also watch out because this precipitation, whatever is falling, is going to change over to snow. Get a little burst. I don't think it's going to add too much to the snowfall totals, but then temperatures free fall into the teens. And anything that's wet on the ground or wet on your car, for example, is going to become solid ice in a very short period of time. So it's going to be very icy and very slick out there on Sunday. And then Monday, we have Arctic temperatures in place with temperatures in the teens and in single digits that, quite frankly, it's not going to be very good. It's going to be a real threat for frostbite out there on Monday. So if you have to go out, bundle up because it is going to get nasty out there. That is your video discussion for today. I hope I answered some of your questions. Look for the storm to come in around 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. and leave between 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. on Sunday. So 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. it starts on Saturday, leaves 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Sunday, and then the Arctic air. Have a wonderful day, and as always, stay safe out there.